Hey there. This lesson's on triads and chords. If you've played open chords like a C, D, E, G, stuff like that, or you can look at a beginner lesson for the chords, you might not realize that there's only 3 different notes in the chord. So a lot of times you're playing 4, 5, or 6 strings, G chord, but you've got repeated notes in different octaves. You have, in the G chord, you have 3 Gs. They're just octaves apart from each other. So a chord is basically 3 notes. That's where the name triad comes from. Now the way you build a chord is you start on let's say we start on the first note of the C major scale, C. Instead of going to the D, we skip a note and go E. And we skip the F and we take the G. So that gives us C, E, and G. That forms a C major triad, or they call it a C chord. A major triad is built up of the root note, which is the C, or whatever note you start on. The third. The reason they call it a third is because the E to the C has 3 letter names, C, D, E. See, that's 3. If we go from C, D, E, F, G, D, E, G, 5. So that's a fifth. They call that a fifth. That's the interval. From the root to from C to G is a fifth interval. And from C to E is a third interval, major third. So you build a major triad with a major third and a perfect fifth. Those are the 2 intervals. You can also think about it as 2 thirds stacked together from C to E and from E up to G. So E, F, G is a third. So you're stacking thirds on top of each other. So that's how you make a chord. Now, if you want to make a minor chord, you use the root note, C. Instead of going up a major third, you just go up a minor third, so that's E flat. And the G is still the same, perfect fifth. So the only difference between a major triad and a minor triad is that the major triad has a major third in it, and the minor chord, the minor triad, has a minor third in it. The root and the fifth are the same. For a major scale, we can build chords off of each note in the scale. And just like the major scale has a pattern of whole steps and half steps, when we build chords off of each note, they have a pattern of major triads and minor triads. And there's also a diminished triad, which is a minor third and a diminished fifth. So we can build, if we build a chord on the C, the first note of a major scale, we have a major triad. Off of the D, we have a minor triad. Off the E, we have another minor triad. Off the F, we have a major triad. Off the G, we have a major triad. Off the A, we have a minor triad, and then the B is that diminished triad, B, D, F. And back to C, C major triad. So it follows a convention of, in a major scale, you have a major chord, 2 minors, 2 majors, a minor chord, and the diminished. That pattern is the same for any major scale. If you pick a G major or a major scale, you're going to have that same pattern of major and minor triads. Okay, that's it for this lesson.